Hey Beletzas, hi, how are you? If you're new here, my name is Michele Paiva. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and I'm here to help you to get over the narcissist and the anxiety and the post-trauma and all the stuff that comes from being with a narcissist. So let's talk about it. What happens to organisms when they are under stress? Any organism, all organisms under stress are going to have some kind of change, some kind of transformation. So for instance, glass under stress will shatter. A hot iron, an iron being under stress, will bend. And if you are under stress, you might get headaches, an autoimmune issue, or you could actually develop worse things like heart issues or cancers or whatever. So what happens to you when you have accumulating stress, or if you're with a narcissist, what to expect when they are being very stressed by the environment, by what's happening in the world? What should you expect? Well, we already know that the most sane, functional people will sometimes behave strangely. For instance, hoarding toilet paper. I know you might be one of them. When we're stressed, we're not always thinking clearly. And so when we're not thinking clearly, we do things more impulsively in a survival space. And that might mean buying toilet paper. Mental and emotional issues will heighten for almost everybody. So if you have anxiety, right now with what's going on in the world is going to probably cause you more anxiety. If you battle with depression, you might be trying to shove everything down and then have a bout of depression. So whatever's going on with you, it could escalate. The covert narcissist right now could become more needy, and the grandiose narcissist might become more attention-seeking. But listen up, okay? Because enablers tend to become more caretaking during this time. So whether you're with a covert or with a grandiose narcissist, you might start to caretake a little bit too much with either one of them. Please don't do that. And here are some of the excuses that you might feel yourself creating for the narcissist. For instance, you might be saying, oh, but this narcissist is so old. Maybe it is a parent, a neighbor, or an older partner or spouse or friend, right? And you might be saying, but they're so old, they need me. They don't need you. But the fact is that you're probably being manipulated into that. Or you're with somebody who's more grandiose and they are doing so much for you. They're dropping little love bombs and little favors around and you're thinking, maybe this crisis has changed them. Maybe they see the light. Not so. And here's a really good way to figure this out. If that narcissist, whether covert or grandiose, is somehow making you feel like you're sacrificing your time, your energy, what you can give, that means you are being manipulated. So even if they're being really nice on the surface, they're not really being nice. So remember that. And here's something interesting. So I want you to think back a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago, whenever you started preparing for this crisis or any crisis that you might have had in your life. At that point, the narcissist was either probably telling you one of two things, either mocking you for over-preparing and acting like you're being silly, or they were actually saying that you're not preparing enough. They tend to mock or condemn. They're never really balanced in the center. How about just right now with cleaning? Are you being told that you're paranoid how much you're cleaning, or are you being told that you're a slob? You're going to see a lot of behaviors from the narcissist that sort of make you feel like you're being name-called or bullied quite a bit. Narcissists love to jump on blaming and pointing the finger at people. So this is the time where the narcissists come out like zombies and start being more racist and focusing more on politics. Now, I get it. I understand that you might have feelings about politicians or different parties within politics. And I totally understand that. But for the average person, you have your belief system, and you might get irritated or a little angered over someone else's belief system, whether or not you find it wrong, insulting, whatever it is. But the narcissist is not going to let it go. The narcissist is the one that's constantly posting on Facebook about their belief. Usually, they're not really going with their belief. They're actually just going with what they don't believe, and they want to bash the other person or the other side at the expense of their family and friends who they are clearly not showing any respect for. That's a really good sign of a narcissist. That is a very narcissistic behavior. Under stress, a narcissist is the worst. Now, anyone that has anything going on, so your anxiety, whatever it is that you might have going on, can be escalated during a time of crisis. But a narcissist is a little different. See, what they want is they want everyone to see them as perfect and as not afraid, or as very afraid if they're covert. But whatever it is they have going on, they still want to be seen in the best light. So if for them, the best light is that they're a victim and they need to be taken care of, they really play that up. And, other people could be truly, really suffering, and they will still want to outdo them in the suffering. They tend to not want anyone else to complain or to vent or to share something that they're going through. They always need to be the one that's having the worst time. Then you have the narcissist who's always showing pictures of what they own, their assets. They're very big about the type of car they have, the kind of house they have, the showiness of their life. Everything is about the show. And so during hard times, that kind of narcissist is going to either play that up, or they're going to twist things around so that you're wrong if you're complaining or venting in any kind of way. So really, on both angles, the narcissist needs to be the center of attention still during a crisis. Even when other people are suffering, they still need it to be about them. And they want to shame and blame people all of the time. So it's not just you, it's also the public in general. So if they have friends on Facebook or friends in their day-to-day lives, they're going to do more of that. Now, you're going to see more of this on social networking right now because a lot of us are in quarantine. So if you're in quarantine, or you're isolating, or you're just protecting in protective mode, you're going to see a lot more on social networking, because these are the people that normally were out socializing and going to nightclubs and restaurants all of the time. And now guess what? They have Facebook. Now, I would highly suggest, if you're not actually with one of these people, but you don't have to delete them because that's probably going to be a drama. You can if you want, but there might be a drama there. You can just unfollow them or snooze them for 30 days. That's always good too. Here's what you need to understand about a narcissist and why I feel that even in a time of crisis, you're really not going to be able to count on them. So if you're living with one right now, in any shape or form, understand that you still need to protect yourself from the narcissist, even when it appears that they're in it with you, for you. The narcissist does not like sacrifice in any way, shape, or form. That's sort of the undercurrent of a lot of their behaviors that they have, right? They don't like sacrifice. They don't like to be without. They're super immature. So if they're very immature, and they don't know how to share, and they don't know how to be nice, and they don't know how to love the way you or I would, then sacrificing just isn't in their DNA makeup, okay? So if you have someone who doesn't like to sacrifice, and now all of a sudden we're in a crisis and they have to sacrifice, they're eventually going to shatter like a Fabergé egg. You're going to have to understand that everything that they see that has to do with sacrifice is going to be seen and met with resentment. So if they're told that they're going to be in a lockdown and that they should isolate and not interact with others, remember, the narcissist gets their energy from other people. So if all of a sudden they have to isolate, where are they going to get their energy from? You. That's where. And also social networking. You're going to see a lot more of these heightened behaviors on social networking because they just want energy. They even like arguments. So you'll see narcissists starting arguments, stirring the pot, or jumping on a post. If you're just being kind and talking about something, they will jump on a post and argue with you. Now, this is what you need to look out for, okay? Narcissists really don't like to sacrifice anything. So the very DNA, the very aspect of who they are is they don't want to give anything up. They're already empty and void, right? So they need to have things towards them, not to sacrifice and push anything away. That's the opposite of what they want. And remember, these are the people now who are being told to isolate and social distance and quarantine. That's already, just the fact that they have to do that or should do that is already something that they see as a challenge. They already see that as, why should they have to do it? It's not about them. Who cares if they spread a disease to other people? They don't care about that. What they care about is, are they having a good time in the moment? Now remember, these are the people that might frequently go to bars and clubs and restaurants and out. Now, I'm not saying that the people that are doing that are all narcissists. What I'm saying is Narcissists definitely like to do that kind of behavior. They like to be out and be seen because they need to get their energy from other people. So if their energy is coming from other people and now they have to self-isolate, guess what happens? Yep, you got it. They're going to be posting like crazy on Facebook in a way to stir the pot to have arguments. Not the kind of stuff like I post a lot about just current events. These people will post a lot to offend other people. They will bash people, they will bash politicians, they will bash everything that they can because they're trying to get a rise out of someone. They either want people to affirm them, they want the pat on the back all of the time, or they want to start arguments and they want to actually get, in either situation, they just want the energy. They're not there for sharing. They're not there for anything else but just seeping up energy. And part of what they do with the blaming and the shaming and the drama is just to deflect, one, their fear, and number two, it's a way to get energy, like I just said. But the other thing is, as long as they can blame other people, they are not at fault. That is part of their DNA. That is part of who they are. They're never going to take responsibility for their health, for their finances, or for anything. Even the grandiose narcissist, who might be very money-focused and power-focused, is still going to blame other people, maybe you. Now, if you're already under stress because you grew up with a narcissist parent or were in a relationship with a narcissist, or God forbid you're still with that narcissist, you're going to have a lot of stress. You already have probably post-trauma that you don't realize that you have. For a lot of you who had a childhood with a narcissist parent, you might just think that you're generally an anxious person, or you just happen to have OCD, or any of the comorbids that might go with anxiety. When in reality, it's very possible that you're just dealing with post-trauma and you didn't know it. Now, add a traumatic experience like what we're going through right now, and then add the idea that you're dealing with all of these narcissists on social networking, perhaps, or in your job if you're an essential and you still have to work, or you might be dealing with a person in your home right now, and lucky you, you're isolated with them, right? So you're dealing with that, or you're dealing with what you're viewing, or you're just dealing with looking at what's happening in the world, and all of this tension is building and building. You can easily have lower immune system function just by all of that worry. So I'm not coming on here giving you all of this information and then saying like, okay, good luck with it. This is how bad a narcissist is, because we already know that they're just horrific, right? They're a plague unto themselves. But the idea is that I want you to be able to shed some of that stress. So you've got to make sure that every day you do some cardiovascular and respiratory exercises. So some yoga, some jogging in place, Pilates. If you have a treadmill or a bicycle, do that. If you can get outside and take a walk, do that. Even if it's to your driveway and back, the mailbox and back, whatever you can do, okay? I also want you to focus on being in a prayer or meditative state 15 to 20 minutes a day. And don't say that you don't have time, because right now we all have a lot of time. So let's do that. I want you to try to eat as healthy as possible. Now, if you are with a narcissist right now, a lot of these things might be hard because they don't want to see you empowered. So try to do it in any way, shape, or form that you can get away with it without them knowing that you're empowering yourself. Maybe you just say, I'm super anxious, I need to take a walk. Don't say, oh, I'm doing this so that I could be healthy, because they don't want to hear that. If you say that you're anxious and you're taking a walk, even if you're not anxious, they will in some way feel like they're winning because you're anxious, okay? And I know this is just so horrible the way I'm saying this, because I'm asking you to lie, because it's for self-preservation and survival. So I don't care that I'm asking you to do that. But also, you need to be more street smart if you are stuck in isolation right now with a narcissist. You've got to be more street smart. You've got to focus on you. You are number one. If you have children, your children are number one with you, but that narcissist is not. So do whatever you can to self-preserve during this crisis or any other crisis that you might have. Okay? All right, I have another video for you, and I will talk to you very soon. Oh, and there's also links below that are super important.